Welcome, everybody, to Reco12. This is Karen A., your host for today, and going to try and be a humble servant of the Creator, useful to Him and our fellows. Reco12 is a service of recovery. You could find us by Googling Reco12.com. This is an organization with the mission of learning and sharing the similarities of addiction of all kinds, gaining and sharing tools and hopes from others who are walking a similar path. We come together from all places, faiths, and backgrounds and gain tool and hope from others who are walking a similar path. We cater to people of all addictions and all afflictions, and we welcome you to join us. Today, I'm happy to introduce Doug L. Doug L. is a member of our growing fellowship, and we'll get to him in a little bit where he'll introduce himself and share his story. The Reco12 family of recovery resources continue to grow and has more resources for the addict and the loved ones or those who are addicted. Reco12 shares and a couple of other super exciting projects are quickly approaching. There's a big book roundtable discussion. We have Noodle It Out with Nikki. And this Reco12 Afro-Euro podcast, we often dive into the 164 pages of the big book. Reco12 is self-supporting, and you could go to reco12.com/support to pay or donate to your seventh tradition. Thank you so much, and please be introduced to our very own Doug L. Thank you, Doug. Happy to have you.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Douglas, and I'm an alcoholic and addict. Thank you, Karen, for inviting me to come share today. Just to confirm, how much time is there for me to share?
About 20 minutes.
Will you let me know? Okay, perfect. So just to kick off, I joined the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous in 2013. I went to a rehab, and after I left the rehab, I actually thought that I know how to control and moderate my drinking and using. And it took about a good year before I properly let go of the alcohol and drugs. I just wanted to mention that because in the beginning, I thought that it was all about drugs and alcohol as being the problem. And that isn't it. So I've stayed sober for some time, and I've only started working, like it's going to be a year that I've worked through the Big Book Sponsorship Guide. During the period of my sobriety, I've had some dry spots where there was no alcohol or drugs influence, but I was still sick. I was still driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity behavior. That darkness, that anxious or fear feeling that you get, well, I get in my belly. And I wasn't living a peaceful life. So working through the steps, I've thought, let me today share on helping others in the chapter working with others. And this is a very important or a very crucial part in my recovery, living sober every day. So I'll start going through the topic I chose, and then I'll just share on it. So on page 97 of the big book, Working with Others, this is chapter 7. It says, helping others is the foundation stone of your recovery. A kind act once in a while, it isn't enough. You have to act the Good Samaritan every day if need be. So in reading out that, I just wanted to touch on another page too, which is here on 80. 89. Let's see. 89. Practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity from drinking as intensive working with other alcoholics. This works when other activities fail. Why helping others is very important in my journey, because the second time I went into rehab, there was a compulsory meeting that happened where people from outside, from fellowships outside, came into the rehab and they shared about this program of recovery, the 12 steps, and how we get better. I remember very clearly that someone spoke about how many times they called their families into the lounge, or they promised or made an oath to themselves and to the family that they would never do it again. And later on in the week, they would do that again and again and again, making that oath. That time I remember clearly because the penny dropped for me. These people came out from outside. They had their own lives, but they came into the center to come and share their recovery, their hope with us. And in saying that, I fully conceded to my innermost self there and then that I was alcoholic, I was an addict, that my life has become unmanageable and that I was powerless of drink, drugs, using, acting out behaviors. So there and there, I picked up that that if I want to get better, I need to plug into this program, working with others, and doing the best I can to work this program to the best of my ability. So I also wanted to mention that on page 62 of the big book, it says selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. So selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles, driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. So here's what's the root of my troubles as an alcoholic or an addict. I'm selfish and I'm self-seeking. The only way, if I think logically about this, to be rid of selfishness and self-centeredness is to follow the path of our new employer, which is God. And how do I do that? To be less selfish, less self-seeking, is to help others. If I go to page 20 of the big book, it also says, so once the drinking or using or acting out behavior or the addiction is not in control that much anymore. On page 20, on the top of page 20 of the big book, it says, our very lives as ex-problem drinkers or users, I'm going to add in there, or addicts, depend upon our constant thought of others and how we may help meet their needs. So if I touch on that, so I got my root. The root of my trouble is self-seeking and self-centeredness. In this book, it's busy saying that I need to be helpful. And how can I help others and help meet their needs? It's meaning that I need to serve. That's all it's saying. It's saying that I need to serve other people. I need to be there for people in recovery, the alcoholic addict that's still suffering, even the one that maybe is hitting a patchy spot, just being there for them, sharing with them, taking them through the book, hearing what's really going on for them, asking them if they're sponsoring. That's a big one for me, because are they helping others? Are they working with other people? Because that's when we relight, we beam of hope and of peace. Again, I did mention, I did read in the beginning of Chapter 7, working with others. Practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity from drinking as intensive working with other alcoholics. Yes, this is very important, but on page 96, it also says, do not be discouraged if your prospect does not respond at once. Search out another alcoholic and try again. You are sure to find someone desperate enough to accept with eagerness what you offer. We find it a waste of time to keep chasing a man. I'm going to add a woman who cannot or will not work with you. If you leave such a person alone, I'm going to add she, may soon become convinced that they cannot recover by themselves. To spend too much time on any one situation is to deny some other alcoholic an opportunity to live and be happy. So I'm going to say that in helping others with having sponsees or the newcomer, if you definitely I have to tell them about this program, what I have to offer, and I tell them the suggestions as well as how we work this sponsorship guide. And if they don't want it, if they don't want to work the program, I can't keep pushing. I can't keep phoning them and seeing if they're going to a meeting or if they're working through their step 1 that's supposed to be finished or their step 4 that's supposed to be finished. I can't. I'm kind of denying a hungry person that needs or that wants this, that wants to feel this happiness, as the book says, as I just read. I can't. I need to look for another person that I need to be there for. If a person isn't willing to take what I'm about to read, outline the program of action, explain how you made a self-appraisal, how you straightened out your past, and why you are now endeavoring to help him or her. It is important for him to realize that your attempt to pass this on to him plays a vital part in your own recovery. Actually, he or she may be helping you more than you are helping them. Sorry. Make it plain that he is under no obligation to you, that your hope only is that he will try to help other alcoholics when he escapes his own difficulties. Suggest how important it is that he places the welfare of others ahead of the welfare of his own. So here is what I'm telling the newcomer about the program of what is given me, and me working with the newcomer is helping me more than I'm helping them in this interaction, and that the only thing that he needs to do or she needs to do after that, we've worked the 12 steps and they're following this path, is to try to pass this on, is to try and give freely this message of hope and peace that we can get from this work in the Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book program. So I'll just go to so that was our outline. The program of action is on page 94 of the Big Book. I'm going to page 77 of the Big Book now, and it says, our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and the people about us. So it says there in two parts of the book already. It says how our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and to the people about us. So there's no doubt I need to, in order to smash that selfishness and self-centeredness, the root is to be of service to God and the people about us. I need to start plugging in. Yes, in recovery, sponsoring people, working with another alcoholic. That's going to ensure immunity against that drinking. Yes. But I need to bring it, if I go deeper and I bring it closer to home, it's helping my neighbor who is a 19-year-old granny. And she stays with her niece, that 77-year-old, just to help them do a few things, maybe emptying out the garbage is just an example. Instead of her walking down all the stairs and going to the bin. Now, this is me thinking, or trying to be of service to God and the people about us. So it can go deeper, not only people in the program, but my family. Going to do work at a shelter, maybe animal shelter, maybe a shelter that for people, going to doing things that I'm not paid for, but it's voluntary service type of thing, where I can get outside of me thinking in my head. Because again, what I said in the beginning, it wasn't about the drinking and drugging. It was about my selfishness, self-centeredness. Because when I leave drink, when I leave drugs, then I'm left with the root, with what is really going down, that selfishness, self-centeredness. It's all about me. And how do I get rid of that all about me? Is by working with fellows. It's by serving people. And again, it did say, do not, you find it a waste of time to chase people. So if you find that it's not helpful where you're serving or where I'm serving, and it's not helpful anymore, I have to leave. Say, okay, hi there, God bless you. Keep going, be safe. But I'm out of here, and go and serve someone else. Go serve someone else, because there's plenty of people to serve in this world, this beautiful world of God. We got a special program here. It's so magical. And as my sponsor Nikki M said, is it's radical, this thing. You know, this book gives us such an amazing peace for myself, if I'm speaking about it for myself. But also with me sponsoring sponsees and taking people through this program, I learned something new every day. I've taken quite a few people through this, the 12 steps here, but every time I take someone through it, I learn something new. And I also, I've heard someone say that they got this illness of forgetfulness. So in the big book, a sponsorship guide, it also says, I can't stay on this path, or clean and sober, or free from those acting out behaviors with yesterday's spiritual experience. I need to get today's spiritual experience. I need to work with people today. I need to connect with God today. I need to increase my conscious contact today to get better today, because it's just for today that I'm here. That is real. That is that I can follow this path. So, yep. I will go to page 70 of the big book. I also just wanted to touch on one part. So it does say to sum up about sex. So this is about sex, but for me, working with my sponsor, I do include maybe acting out, maybe all other behaviors that I can include in the sentence. So it could be obsessing about my ex relationship. It was unhealthy, it was toxic, but just thinking about the person and wanting to be with them. It could be about all different things that are unhealthy coping mechanism behaviors or obsessions. It says on page 70 in the big book, if that acting out, I'm adding acting out, or if any certain behavior is very troublesome, we throw ourselves the harder into helping others. We think of their needs and work for them. This takes us out of ourselves. It quiets the imperious urge when to yield would mean heartache. So here again, it's saying, let's help someone else. Let's go stop what I'm doing if it's unhealthy and it's not working, and go plug in somewhere else where I can be useful, where I can be helpful, where I can be of service, not charged for my time. It's complete free time that I'm gonna go give, expecting nothing in return. How can I help you today? How can I be there for you today? And that's so powerful. It says, if the situation or whatever is very troublesome, we throw ourselves the harder into helping others. We think of their needs and work for them. This takes us outside of ourselves. Powerful, powerful part. So I just wanted to read one last thing. I'm not too sure on time. Yeah, I think we made it there. I wanted to
You're good.
read.
If you want to end early, you could end early. If you'd like to keep going, you could take as much as 10 minutes. Let us know. We can start taking
I'll give
people's-
it. Sure, I'll go. I'll just do another 5 quick. So I'm just looking for my train of thought now. So this is in Bill's story on page 15. So it says, I soon found that when all other measures failed, work with another alcoholic would save the day. So in Bill's story, I soon found that when all other measures failed, work with another alcoholic would save the day. So yes, I said that we need to be of service even with people in our community, but to work with another alcoholic, we understand each other like no one else can. So yes, I need to work with alcoholics and be of service and take people through this 12-step program and plug in and be there of service if my phone probably rings early hours of the morning, to take the call and to be there for that person. However, also saying that I need to also be of service to anyone, the stranger in the shopping center or the supermarket, or if I see maybe, for example, this is just example, a mom holding a child and something drops on the floor, just trying to go help her, to pick it up or be there for her, just instead of just looking at her. I mean, like, I'm not picking up that because I could shift into that kind of mind frame. But to be there of service to anyone, that was just an example. But just to be there of service to anyone. If I just want to wrap up on 2 things. On page 84 of the big book. Let's get in there. My big book. So 84 on our big book, it says, love and tolerance of others is our code. Love and tolerance of others is our code. So if I touch on this one, yes, people are gonna hurt me as I go through the day at work. Maybe they're going through so much stuff and they say something that actually affects me. And this is the time where love and tolerance of others is our code. So it mentions this quite a few times in the book, to love and be tolerant of others. But I just wanted to mention it right now. Yes, when I'm interacting with any human, I could be hurt at a certain point where someone can offend. But my point towards this love and tolerance towards others is our code, is to be loving, kind, and tolerant. To ask God to remove that anger, to show me the love and tolerance that I need, that I kindly give to a friend. You know, it says in the big book also, on page 67, God save me from being angry, thy will be done. You know, it also mentions on 66, if we were to live, we had to be free of anger. The grouch and the brainstorm were not for us. They may be the dubious luxury for the normal man, but for alcoholics, these things are poison. So I can't have anger. So if someone offends me, God, please help me. Help me not be angry. Help me show this person forgiveness. Thy will be done. And it's going to happen a few times. Sometimes it's better for me not to react and rather respond to the person. Like, okay, and put down and just rather pause and leave that conflict immediately, and to be loving and tolerant towards all. It's a tough one. I can say it now to everyone here, but sometimes it's difficult. It is difficult, but I've learned it gets better every day to know that I was in my active alcoholism and in some um, um, dry drunk parts of my journey. I was a lot. I could get offended quite easily, and I could react and say things that weren't very nice. But today, where I'm at, I know what I need to do, and what needs to happen is that I need to know that I need to be loving and tolerant towards all, from the person, the cleaner in the organization, to the CEO of the organization. Everyone needs my loving and tolerant approach to things. I need to do it towards all, no matter what title they have, no matter who they are, what color they are, whatever they are. They are people, and they're God's people. And in our book, it says deep down in every man, woman, and child is a fundamental idea of God. There's God inside of everyone. So that's God's people. Everyone's God's people. So I need to be loving and tolerant towards God's people. Um, so it's time. Okay. So I just wanted to go back into Bill's story for the last little. I just wanted to just touch on this last little bit. So it says here, it's a promise. I was soon to be capsulated into what I like to call the fourth dimension of existence. I was to know happiness and peace and usefulness in a way of life that is incredibly more wonderful as time passes. For me, if I share on that, this program, Working the 12 Steps, the people that I've met in this program, I haven't felt so amazing in my life as I do today. Things have just, well, if I just mention today, my life is ups and downs all the time. More so in my relationship, that one it's been a bit challenging for some time now. But other than that, career, family life, every other part of my life has been amazing. But I think I've just had too much control in my romantic relationship life. And there's lots of hurt and trauma in our relationship. That's why it's been something that has affected me for some time. But I need to let go of that part and let God into it more so as I let God into all other areas but that part. And in saying that, I can know that happiness, peace, and usefulness in a way of life that is incredibly more wonderful as time passes. So everything else is so amazing. I can live in a peace today that I've never experienced ever in my whole life. Thanks to this program, thanks to the people I've met in this program, and I'm so grateful for this program, the 12 Steps, the Big Book sponsorship guide, Nikki, my sponsor, and people, I've met here. I'm really entirely grateful for them. So um, that's really all I have to share. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you so much, Doug, for your beautiful message. I, for one, 100% needed to hear it. I'm sure, as did everyone on this line. Thank you for your service and for all that you do. I jotted down some questions that we could start out with, and if anyone else has some questions, you could put them in the Q&A. Oh, I see a great question there. Okay. The first question I have is, can you share about your sponsorship? I know you work with others. I know you help the old lady in the supermarket, the young mom, and I love that. I love that. I know that we have to watch out for the selfishness, the dishonesty, the resentment, which is the number one killer, which could crop up at any minute. Like you said, yesterday's spiritual experience won't carry me through the next second. Talk to me about working with others. Where do you find your sponsors? How many sponsors do you work with at a time? Talk to me about how you work yourself. Step 12.
Okay, so I first said that I I got the message of the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous while I was in a rehab, and that's where people actually came through from outside, from the anonymous programs, to come and share about this fellowship that we've had, because I never knew about it, but they came and shared about it. So for me, I got my message there. So I always, throughout the time I've been in recovery, I plugged into rehabs, because that's where I actually was able to work with the very new person, which is just come off the streets and is kind of in a detox center. And that's where I started working with others. And it is amazing. And yes, you do easily get sponsees from there. But however, now with the online world, we can join meetings all over the world, globally. And in the chats, you can just put in there, my name is so and so, my name is Doug. I'm available for outreach. I'm available for sponsorship. Yeah, here's my number. And we put that in the chat. And most of these groups, online groups, are allowing this today. So if you need sponsors, try to go to these meetings and put your name on the list for sponsorship or outreach. Even just talking to a fellow to bounce back ideas of the big book. That's also helpful, because then you start sponsoring this person. And yep. But if you can, go to rehabs, because that's where, go to rehabs, join a rehab meeting where you can share your hope, your experience, what you've got from the program, how you've become free from all these addictions, and you're feeling that peace. And I'm sure someone's gonna come and pat you on the back. Can you help me through this program? Also, going to meetings, if you go to meetings, even face to face meetings, you see that they usually say, is there anyone here for the first time? Maybe after the meeting, go to that person and offer, you take their number. Usually we, before, when I worked through other programs, it was like the sponsee needs to ask me for my number. No, I can ask them for their number and send them a message. And if they do want this thing, I'll plan a call with them. I schedule regular meetings once, twice a week, regular meetings, which we both attend, and we're on time and we work through this thing. There's lots of people hungry out there for this thing. And once they get it, wow, it's amazing to see how their lives change, and it just grows and grows from there. So I hope that answers your question. I think Karen got kicked off. And let's see if there's any other question here. So I'm just gonna answer Miles's question here. In regards to service and helping others, what's the one thing you now know, that you wish you knew early on in recovery? You know, this is a little bit of a difficult one, Miles. Thanks for your question there. What I now know. I always thought it was about the drinking and the drugging and all of that, back then. And I only put more emphasis on this, uh, that it's not about those things, because if it was about the drinking and drugging, I should be okay by now, but it's about all those other things that I've put. So there could be other acting out mechanisms that I seek a little bit of pleasure from, that I want to escape from these feelings that I'm driven, like that fear, that self-pity, that self-seeking. And what's the last one here? That self-delusion qualities. So now I now know that I need to every day. I can't again live off yesterday's spiritual experience. Today I need a new spiritual experience. And how am I going to get that? By doing something completely different. So maybe I need to do a little bit of meditation and watch some other spiritual YouTube video of some sort, or healing, or something completely different that I need to learn today. You know, um, I yeah. Again, I can't be sober of yesterday's spiritual experience. So I know that today I've got an issue of this, let's say, of the spirit, and I need to improve my conscious contact today. So so it's not about those other things that I used to kind of escape, but it's about my spiritual connection towards the one who has all power, that one is God. So yep. I hope that answers your question. I hope. So there's another question there. Is it hard for you to spend so much time on recovery? How do you manage it all? So for this one, it's very important to have a schedule. So I'm just going to go in my book here so I can guide you to a page. So um, you know which page you can go to. Uh, 1 second. So yeah, this is on page 86 of Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book. In thinking about the day, so this is the last paragraph. In let's go one paragraph, okay, up. So the second last paragraph. On awakening, let's think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking Him that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, and or self-seeking motives. So in the day, I wake up, well, first thing in the morning, I wake up. I ask God to remove my divorce, my thinking, especially from self-pity, dishonesty, and self-seeking motives. And then I think of my day. Okay, I've got work today, so I'm going to be there from 9 to 5. I After work, I'm probably going to go to a meeting. Or I'm going to spend time. I must come home and cook, and then attend a meeting, and then come back, eat with the family, and then put the kids to bed. So I know my plan for the day. You know, I know what's supposed to go down for the day. I'm doing some recovery in there. Maybe I'm going to check in with my sponsor in there, and that's the routine for my day. For me, I usually meet up with sponsors on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Sunday. Those days are allocated for sponsor. And that's when I can spend more time with them, or the set time where we go through the Big Book sponsorship guide. If I just do things without thinking about them, without scheduling them, that's when the wheels will come off. That's when everything is just too overwhelming. Then the wheels really do come off. So I need to structure my day, my days in the week. Okay, my first my day, and then my week in a manner which is manageable for myself. Obviously, I need to cater for family time. I need to cater for my recovery, my meetings, my sponsor time, my sponsees time, as well as communication with God every day. So that allocate that for that time. And then also a little bit of fun. I need to go to the family market. I need to do a little bit of time just maybe with the family, or myself too. Just go outside, maybe on the weekend to a family market. So just to kind of structure it um, accordingly. So I hope that one answers your question. So that's all the questions I can see right now.
Hey there, it's Karen. I got kicked off and I'm back on. Sorry about that, but I heard you from another device. Amazing. What are your words of wisdom before we close out and have you pray us out? What are your words of wisdom for us today? What recovery message is deepest in your heart today, Doug, about working your own program, living in steps 10, 11, and 12? What's in your heart? You know, anything from the big book, throw it at us. Inspire us for today. Give us some gasoline.
Okay. Let's go to page 87 of the big book. Last paragraph. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful, and we ask for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves we are no longer running the show, humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, "Thy will, not mine, be done." We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions. We become more efficient. We do not tire so easily, for we are not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. It works, it really does. We alcoholics are undisciplined, so we let God discipline us in the simple way we have just outlined. But this is not all. There is more action. There is action, more action. Faith without works is dead. So that, yep, during the day, if I am agitated or doubtful, if I don't think things are going well, I'll ask God for the right thought or action. I need that. I need to rely on God, not on anyone but God, because God's there. God's gonna take care of me. God's gonna give me the power to handle anything that's thrown my way. That's what I need to believe. That's what I need to believe. And I do believe today. God either is or he isn't. No more on the fence. No more sitting there like, is he gonna catch me? Can I jump? Can I do this? God is there. I just say a little prayer and I don't struggle, as the book says. I just go and be. Say a little prayer, do what I can. Do what's in front of me. Don't go too above and beyond. So yeah, that's what I have.
Amazing. We are no longer running the show. So can you select a prayer? Perhaps you already selected a prayer with which to pray us out. Before we do that, I'm going to remind everybody that you could pay your seventh tradition, make a contribution through Reco12.com. If you'd like to join us in the Afro-Euro time zone or in other time zones, can record a 3 to 5 minute share on the SpeakPipe. If you would like to share here, you can WhatsApp me. I'll put my number in the chat again. If you have other people you want to recommend, we're always looking for more speakers in our time zone. So, Doug L., I'm so grateful to you. Please spread the word in South Africa. I have a few fellows there, but definitely not enough people representing. So if you've got a strong message and you've got a God Squad that has a strong message, send them our way and share with us your prayer to carry us throughout the day in fellowship and service.
Okay. So there's one more question. Can I answer that, or should I just pray?
Oh, of course. That is our service. That is your job, to be of maximum helpfulness. Absolutely.
So it says, how do you manage to do so much service, be there for others so much? I have tremendous selfishness. So with this one, we need to work through the book. We need to start at step one. If you haven't started at step one, try and get a big book sponsorship guide sponsor that will take you through this, because this it's like a mirror. We find out exactly the root. Why are we so selfish? What is really going on? From step 1 to step 12. In step 4, we're going to find out what are these What are these things? So selfishness, self-centeredness can be a means of fear. It could be something that you're afraid of losing, something you're afraid of happening, which probably hasn't happened, but is something maybe you're predicting that might be happening. Maybe you have a fear of abandonment issues. So I like to group them so then it actually it helps me in all parts of my life. Maybe you're afraid of being rejected or so on and so on. And we break this down for you in the Big Book Sponsorship Guide, so you can see exactly your own inventory. Where am I to blame? What is my fault? What is really going on? And again, I read the root. Let me just read it quickly once now for you again. It's on 60, let's go. 62. Selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. How do we get rid of selfishness, self-seeking behavior? In a nutshell, we got to be helpful towards others. That's what the book says. We got to be tolerant and loving towards others. Otherwise, if you stay in that selfishness and self-seeking behavior, we're not going to get better. We're just going to get resentful. We're going to get anger. We're going to just get all those negative defects back. And we're probably going to drink for that ease and comfort that comes from taking a few drinks. So that's what I don't want, because I know if I drink, I can smash TVs. I could be loving. I don't know what I'm going to get. But now being sober, I'm in the right mind. I'm in a peaceful state. People want to be around me. People care about me, and people know they can rely on me if I'm saying that I'm going to be there at 1:00, I'll be there at 1:00 type of thing. So just to share, I've got to share this quickly just to touch on this recovery has given me things beyond my wildest imagination. My mom kicked me out of her house when I was 24 because of the behaviors I was going through. That's in 2014, and today, where I'm at in my recovery, she's given me keys to her home. I don't stay with her, but she's given me keys to her home. She calls me for anything. She doesn't call any of my other brothers if she really needs. If she needs help, she'll call me. She runs marathons and all of that. So if you're a runner, you need to put in case of emergency number on your chest. And my numbers are in case of emergency number. Not my other brothers, it's my number. Because through this program, she believes in me that I'll be there if something happens to her. But if I was drinking and using and acting out and doing those crazy things, she would never put my number there if something happens to her while she's running a 60K marathon. So I need to change and shift my whole thinking towards this program, and I'm going to learn how to love and accept and be tolerant towards all. So I hope I answered that question for you. So Big Book Sponsorship Guide, try and go to Noodling Out with Nikki. You can get a nice sponsor. And yep, you can definitely be free from that selfishness and self-seeking if you work through these 12 steps.
Yes, Doug, will you put your number in the chat? I'm getting private messages of people loving your share, regretting that they came on late, wanting what you have, so that people on this meeting can reach out to you directly.
Sure. Maybe. How do I put it in on the Q&A?
You could put it in the chat, actually. Go to chat.
So, oh, there we go.
Anyone who is looking for a sponsor, I'll also put my number in the chat again. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Doug. I take people through the Big Book. I'm currently booked, but I try to get people through swiftly, and I'm connected to a network of people. If you want what Doug has, we work the same Big Book for the same 12 steps, each of us with our own personal higher power, thank God. Just for today, feel free to reach out. And Doug, after we get your number, we'll have you pray us out.
Perfect. Okay, I chose the 7-step prayer because in working with other people, in living with other people, in working with maybe in the working environment with other people, I need to always remember this prayer, So step 7 prayer. My Creator, I'm now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. So,
Amen.
Powerful prayer. In the sponsorship big book guide, we go further, and when we say remove me the defects of character, we actually go through it. So my selfishness, my self-seeking behavior, my fears, and then when we go into grant me strength, there's all the good things in column 5 which we need to practice, and then we close the prayer. But I'm so grateful to be here today. I do hope someone got something out of it. And God bless all of you. And Karen, again, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm glad to have met you today. And yep, I look forward to many more get-togethers.
Thank you so much, Doug. And thank you for everybody here on this call today. I'm going to ask God to remove, my own anger, resentment, selfishness, self-pity, martyrdom, and have him show me and all of us on this call and all of our fellows, receive that energy in the universe, love, tolerance, humility, service, happiness, peace, ease, kindness, nurturing, inspiration, and all good things. Bless you, Reco12 family. Bless you, and thank you, Doug, and everyone here. Have a wonderful day.
Standing still a moment, carving out this time, reflecting on the landscape of this life of mine. Peaks too high to conquer, streams too wide to cross, troughs too deep to walk through without incurring loss. Yet here I am, still standing tall, despite the rough terrain. One like me survived the storms and walked through wind and rain. Still standing, I will fight the good fight, still searching